So it does seem that Gaetz is not backing down from this challenge, and that he really wants to be Attorney General, which would give him a lot of power to rein in a department that Trump has historically not liked.
Right.
Trump has clashed with the Justice Department, has slammed the weaponization of the government for years now, and so it would be a key ally for Trump to have Gaetz as head of the DOJ, because Gaetz is not going to go against Trump. What Trump wants, he'll get.
Welcome to Reporter's Notebook, where we talk to the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the stories breaking on their beats. I'm Jim Antle, and I'm joined today by national political correspondent Mabinty Quarshie. Mabinty, we're now in the Trump transition. Former president, or I guess now president-elect, future and former president Donald Trump, he's starting to roll out his cabinet picks and other personnel choices. There seemed to be a lot of consensus behind a number of them in the beginning. The vibe is shifting a little bit. Talk a little bit about where we're at right now.
Yeah, so I want to say that Trump's first announcement after he became the 47th president, and I'm going to get back to that in a second, he announces Susie Wiles, his co-campaign manager, as his chief of staff. And everybody across the GOP, from his former rivals to his current allies, they love her. Everyone is rushing to say really good stuff about her. The consensus is she'll bring order to a somewhat chaotic first term. And also something that's noted to me over and over is that a lot of people fear Susie. So, the White House isn't going to be, a circus. It's going to be very disciplined, or at least that's the hope. And so, Trump is off with this great announcement that unifies the GOP. He rolls out a few more announcements. We learned that respected Senator Marco Rubio is going to be his Secretary of State. There's a little pushback, but the party falls in line. Even Senator John Fetterman from, Pennsylvania, a Democrat, praises Marco Rubio as, a future Secretary of State. It gets a little complicated when Trump announces that he's tapped Florida man Matt Gaetz as his nominee for Attorney General. The GOP, we start to see a few cracks, We have those like Senator John Thune, who just became the incoming Senate Majority Leader, who basically says we're going to let the confirmation process, come out. We're not going to say anything negative about Matt Gaetz. We have Senator John Cornyn from Texas, who lost the Senate Majority Leader race to Thune, basically say, no, actually, I want to learn more about Matt Gaetz. We need to know more about this, House Ethics Committee report that could or could not come out. So there's some skepticism about whether Gaetz can, muster enough votes to pass through Senate confirmation. And it's also a big test, right? Because what we've seen from Trump's nominations, such as Kristi Noem as Homeland Security Secretary, is that he values loyalty. And so this is a big test, probably the first big test for Senator Thune. Can he cajole the Senate GOP to confirm Matt Gaetz? If he can't, it's probably gonna not be a good look for him in his relationship with Trump. But if he can, it proves that he's a loyal soldier for Donald Trump, and it might make his, next 4 years or next 2 years in, as Senate Majority Leader smoother. But we don't know yet. Matt Gaetz, he resigns from the House on the same day he's, announced his nominee for Attorney General.
So in theory, he's all in. So most of these other appointees or nominees or prospective nominees are still in their current jobs, haven't left their current jobs. Gaetz has left his House seat in a fairly narrow, what's expected to be a fairly narrow House majority. So it would seem that he's, all or nothing on this.
Yeah, it's audacious, because if he doesn't get confirmed, then you're out of a job, right? You're no longer a congressman. But there is some speculation that maybe his dad runs for the seat that he left, and that if he didn't get confirmed, he could come back to the seat. His dad will, relinquish it. We don't know that yet. That's all speculation. It's not confirmed. But there is that possibility. Governor Ron DeSantis, he has the chance to select a senator to fulfill Marco Rubio's seat. So what he could also do is pick someone who wouldn't mind serving for 2 years, and then allowing DeSantis to run for the Senate seat after he's term limited from running for governor again.
And Gaetz has always been rumored to want to run for governor of Florida himself.
Yeah, so it does seem that Gaetz is not backing down from this challenge, and that he really wants to be Attorney General, which would give him a lot of power to rein in a department that Trump has historically not liked.
Right.
Trump has clashed with the Justice Department, has slammed the weaponization of the government for years now, and so it would be a key ally for Trump to have Gaetz as head of the DOJ, because Gaetz is not going to go against Trump. What Trump wants,
Right.
he'll get.
Sure. And the Department of Justice has been at issue for him, not only just in terms of his legal problems, some of his complaints about how the Justice Department handled various investigations involving him personally,
Right.
but he ended up not being very happy with two of his attorneys general, Jeff Sessions, who had been the first senator to endorse Trump during his first presidential campaign, and then Bill Barr, who previously served as Attorney General under George H.W. Bush. So this might be a cabinet slot where he really wants somebody who he wants.
Yeah, like I think the sense is he doesn't want someone who's going to go on network television to contradict him. And I think even if Gaetz did disagree with Trump, he would know better than to publicly say that to the media or to other journalists. And I want to say there was some reporting that Gaetz basically said he would go into the DOJ to cut heads, right? Like he was gonna clear it out of people who maybe are not succinctly loyal to former President Donald Trump.
And that is a big theme of this transition, is that Trump had said during the campaign that he wanted certain heads to figuratively roll, and they wanted to go after the deep state. He's brought in Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to sort of talk about ways you can cut the bureaucracy. So that is an ongoing theme of who controls it and how much they can cut it.
Yeah. And also, this is his second term, and I mentioned this earlier when I said, as his 47th president. So what Trump has done since becoming president-elect is he repeatedly says I'm the 45th and the 47th president, which I think is a very subtle reminder to people that he's done something that hasn't been done in 127 years,
Right.
when 2 non-consecutive turns as president. And so because, he can't run again, he's coming in to enact his vision. This
Right.
is his last chance, his last 4 years to do what he wants. And so he's not wasting time. To your point about Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, he's rewarding people who were allies and supporters of him when maybe other more establishment Republicans weren't, and he's giving them key high-profile positions to enact his America First vision. And as I would note, right? So people like Nikki Haley, who ran against him, he made it very clear she's not joining
Right.
a second administration, right? I don't want to say punish, but he wants to make it clear to people, if you weren't loyal to me before, you're not getting a good spot in my administration this time around.
And some of these positions require Senate confirmation and some of them don't. So he pretty much has free range for the things that don't require Senate confirmation, but these cabinet level agencies all do.
Yeah. So like the Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, they're going to lead the Department of Government, Efficiency.
Doge. Yes.
That doesn't need Senate confirmation, right? His borders are Tom Homan, doesn't need Senate confirmation either, but they can still do a lot. If they have Trump's ear, if they're in with Susie Wiles, they can still have their vision enacted over the next 2 to 4 years.
Well, it's going to be an interesting couple of months.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mabinty.
Thanks.
You can read Mabinty and the rest of our political team's coverage at washingtonexaminer.com.